better on YouTube or Twitch? https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=Stu68gfc
Good afternoon, Twitcher. I'm just thinking about maybe listing a startup process so that I do the same each time and don't forget anything maybe. So when I'm round here like this, I'm looking at my other screen to open up Notepad and make a list. Okay, so
Happy to see you again, sir.
hello guys. Yeah, nice to see you back, sir. I'm doing the usual testing because it's Friday and we often get updates and things for DCS on Friday, so I thought I'd test that, which we didn't get an update, but I'm still testing it. I'm also making a list so that hopefully I will follow the same startup process. It's all in my head, but it'd be good to do the same startup process each time by following my little list. Right, so I'm going to follow that process right now as it happens. Yeah, let's do that. I've got to put it on my other screen where I can see it and it doesn't get in the way of other things. Okay, I'm ready to go. So first on the list is I'm going to apply my brake. Oh, actually I've missed a piece off. Hold on. Okay, so first thing is I'm going to put on my brake so that whatever else happens, if the engine starts, I'm not going to ease forward. So the brake lever just there, fully on. So there you go. This, if you look at my inset on the bottom right, there's my slider that I use for my brake, and that is infinitely adjustable so that I can use the brake to turn by using the direction of the rudder as well. So brake fully on. Next thing is adjust my prop pitch. The prop pitch is fully coarse at the moment because it's back here. So it's fully back, it's fully coarse, and it's left like that because if you leave it fully forward you're putting strain on the cable which might cause it to stretch. So when the aircraft is shut down, it's left fully coarse so that it's slack, no stretching of the cable. Fully fine is fully forward, and that's what I want for starting the engine. So the next thing I want to do is, before I start the engine, I'm going to ask permission. I'm actually going to do this because I'm going to follow the process. I'm going to use voice attack to get my comms menu, which will be in the top right hand corner of the screen, and then I'll ask for permission to start the engine using voice attack once again. So I'll choose ATC. I'll choose MOSDOC because that's where I'm at.
There is a difference in the prop pitch setting between the 109 and the Spitfire.
Oh, I can well believe that. They will be, I suppose, dependent on very much on the aircraft. But that's not something I'm knowledgeable about. I suspect you know a lot more about that than I do. Okay, I'm going to now choose request starter.
MOSDOC, Chevy 1-1, request startup.
Now, although
If
it's
I
an
hit
accident,
max prop pitch in the BF 109, the engine dies before taking off.
really? Max prop pitch, you mean fully forward? I don't get that problem. And mine, oh no, I have mine on auto. Mine would be on auto. Okay, now although it was an accident, I didn't get a response to my radio message, and the reason was I didn't turn the radio on. So I've got to, oh, I have noted it, I just missed it with my eyeball. So let's turn the radio on and do that again. Radio is on.
MOSDOC, Chevy 1-1, request startup.
So I should now get permission then. They don't say no. Right, I've got permission to start, so I'm going to turn on my panel lights and put my gear light on as well. So panel lights are beyond the stick. And my gear warning indicator, and my gear indicator light is there, just about see it. So now the gear is telling me it's down. Right, next thing is open the booster and starter covers. I don't open those. When I try to press the button, nothing will happen because I'm pressing on the cover instead of the button. Right, I'll put the magnetos on, which I've got a couple of switches at the back of my throttle for that. Okay, so magnetos are on. I now want to put my fuel pump on and open the fuel cock. You might hear the fuel pump go, like a whining sound, and then you'll see the fuel cock lever move up from the off position to the on position. So the fuel pump is running. I'm now going to open the fuel cock. Okay, so now I need to prime it. I've had permission to start, so I need to prime the engine with about 5 pumps on the primer and then start it. Starting it by pushing those 2 buttons at the same time, and then once the engine is starting to catch, flick the fuel, the mixture control lever forward. And before I do that, I will open the throttle about that much. So let's prime it and start it. Okay, I'm going to lean to one side so you can see the prop turning and the exhausts, and I will now start the. And to demonstrate the torque of the engine, if I blip it, you'll see the wings rock. So much that it's tilted the aircraft. Contact, Roger. Okay, let's get back in. Whilst I'm here, I will check. Oh, I didn't note my other lights. I'll do that now, and I'll put them at the end of this process. Check my control surfaces, aileron, elevator, rudder. Okay, I'll jump back in and do my lights. So the lights are down here. I'm going to just note my thing first. Hold on. Right, so over on the right hand, these are the lights controls. If I were to put that fully down like that, and this one fully down, I believe when I step outside you will see the lights all on. Well, not all on, but the body lights, top and underneath, and let's have a look. It's just visible on the ground underneath the belly. There's a light area from the light that's underneath the belly, and there's the light on top. Now I'm going to demonstrate another thing, and if I jump back in for this, if I put the lights to this position, this then becomes a Morse key, and if I lose my radio I can signal to other pilots with the Morse key instead of using my radio. So let's jump out and you'll see what I mean. So there you are, that's the way those lights work. I would normally put them to not Morse, so let's jump in. Right, so now they should be fully on, just check that. Yeah, they're permanently on. And I'm going to put on my navigation lights so that people can see I'm around. Really, this should probably happen at the beginning so that people know that I'm about to start an engine. But I'll put the nav lights on, so if you look at the wingtips over there, so look on the left, wingtip lights, red port and green starboard. There's also the tail light from the nav light switch. So that is basically it. I think I will put the lights on. I'm going to move that on my list and put it to...
I have good news, sir.
What news is that, Gaz? Okay, so I'm going to now set my altimeter and my nose down and my rudder. So nose down trim on the elevator and a bit of rudder trim ready for takeoff. But let's do my altimeter first. And adjust the nose down. For me it's 1/3 of a division of nose down. Sorry it's jerky, it's very difficult to control track IR when zoomed in. It'd be nice if, like in War Thunder, you can adjust the sensitivity, but you can't seem to do that here.
Remember the game I told you about where I was playing sim with the Fury and I got 7 kills in total and 15,000 upgrade points, and now I have 2 Hurricanes and 2 Spits.
Oh, that's excellent news. Well done there, guys. Well done. You got Spits. You'll need to be learning a few tricks and hints about the Spits then, won't you? So you don't end up sticking them in the ground, as it's so easy to do because they can flip out. And I will, if you haven't seen it already, and if you want to see it, I mean you probably don't need to, but if you want to see it, I'll show you my demonstration of how to get out of a spin. Right, nose down, and now I'm going to adjust my rudder. So rudder trim, so that the D's are just past the 12 o'clock area. That's probably sufficient. I'm also going to turn on the pitot heat, just in case I get high enough for the pitot tube to freeze over, and then I wouldn't know how fast I was going. So I'm now going to ask permission to taxi.
Mazda, Chevy 1-1. Request taxi to runway. Chevy 1-1.
They're always a bit slack on that one, I think.
Runway 26.
Right, so to taxi, it's to turn right, it's right rudder and some braking. Other way for left. Here we go. Brake off.
I took it to test flights and it feels so good.
Yeah, but it's not like it used to was. It is actually at times a bit like pushing a piece of wet string, because they nerfed it. And yesterday I was flying 5B, I think it was, and I chased a 190, I think it was, up to about 21,000 feet, more than that. And in theory that should be where the Spit was to operate, but it was useless. It wouldn't turn, it was awful, it wouldn't roll, it was bad. The Spit used to be good in War Thunder. Here the Spit is realistic, I'm quite sure of that. It is real, it's a good flight model here. But I mean, the example I always quote with War Thunder is when you put your flaps down when you come into land, it just noses up. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in the old FSX, like the Microsoft Flight Sim, previously the Flight Sim 10. It doesn't happen in that, and it doesn't happen in this. I don't believe War Thunder has a more accurate flight model than the two simulators, so War Thunder's wrong. Also, when in War Thunder, in a Spitfire, you'll notice when you push your throttle up, it takes a few seconds before the engine starts to pick up, and as you've seen here, I've only got to blip the throttle and it picks up. That's wrong. Why did I have that? I don't know. When I get to the runway, I will stop and I will ask permission to take off. I haven't got my seat restraint in at the moment, so I'm just hoping it doesn't cause me too much issue, like pumping the rudder pedals backwards and forwards, it wanting to shunt me backwards, so I'm hoping it won't cause me an issue. And I can't hear much at the moment because I haven't got my earbuds in. I think I will put them in. Maybe turn off my speakers and just use the earbuds. Right, I will ask permission.
Mazda, Chevy 1-1, request takeoff.
He always says yes.
Chevy 1-1, Mazda, you are cleared for takeoff.
I say yeah, always. He won't necessarily. If the fuel tanker that you saw earlier on, maybe, I don't know if you saw that, but if the fuel tanker is coming into land, it will say hold. Or if there's another player, if you're doing a multiplayer and there's another player in the area, it will tell you to hold. But in general, in this, because I'm the only one in this, it's always going to say yeah. I'm going to stop and I'm going to put my earbuds in. I'm using the brake, as you see, I'm using the brake lever, not easy to see, brake lever and throttle and rudder pedals to taxi. Right, earbuds time. That's it, I can now hear my engine ticking over, whereas I couldn't before because I didn't have the speakers up very much. Brief explanation of takeoff: stick back, full right aileron, throttle up, handbrake off, throttle up, dance on the pedals.
Is
dance
this
on
the
the
test fly of DCS?
No, this is not a test flight. This is just like we've got this mission. This is a mission that Laxor created. We've got this also as a multiplayer. So not a test flight. You can do whatever you want in this, and there are units to attack. There are not aircraft to engage, but that's okay for this. It's mainly just making sure everything's working okay. Such a, like all your pedals and your stick, make sure there's no oddities there, that your USB plug hasn't fallen out or something, so you're making sure it's all okay. So so throttle up, dance on the pedals, keep it straight, gradually letting the stick forward to its normal position. She lifts off, and once she's there, it's gear up. Adjust my trim, my elevator trim, to give 1 division of nose up instead of a third of a division of nose down, and then adjust my prop pitch to 2,700 revs per minute. And once I've done that, I would close the canopy. Canopy's left open for landing and takeoff, just in case they need to oik you out in an emergency. They don't want to have to smash through the canopy to get to you. So here we go. Hopefully my chair not being restrained won't be too much of an issue, and I will try to show the pedals as I take off. Brake off. I now need to turn on my illuminated sight and make my guns ready, because at the moment if you look at the top of my stick you'll see that they are safe, so I need to make them ready to fire. So illuminated sight on, make guns ready. Okay, I'm just going to do my usual thing, which is just a good way of testing that everything's okay. If you do the same thing every time, you know what should happen. If you do different things, then whatever happens might be because you're doing something different. So I like to do this same run. When I've taken off, there's a line of trucks. I will go and hit that line of trucks, hopefully, and see how it all works. There's a train. I'm not going to hit the train. I can, and it will be destroyed, and it causes a train jam. All the other trains can't get past, so hold on, stand by. That felt like a good run. I'll turn and see. I missed the last one. Duh. Well, 8 out of 9 ain't bad. And of course you'll see them explode as I come around. They burn for a while, then they explode. I'll go and get that last one, hopefully. There we are, explosions happening. I'm trying to make myself fire from further back. Because I tend to end up getting way too low and too close, so it's just a way it sort of seems always to work for me, but I'm trying to make myself aim and fire from a greater distance. So all the trucks are gone, that last one just exploded. There are some fuel trucks on the road. I'll go for them, or at least one or two of them. But this flight model feels much more realistic to me. Not that I fly a Spit or ever have or ever will, but it feels more realistic. Oh, that last shot was just a waste. But I've got the first two. There are green tracer coming up at me. That's from the tanks that are on the bridge. They are a little bit deadly if you get too close. As I often like to, I'm going to now visit the ground units that will shoot back at me from the field just over on the east of the airfield. They're just about visible.
Of course DCS is more realistic because they only have Flight Simulator in their game, not like War Thunder's other modes and tanks and ships.
That's absolutely right, Gaz. But the other difference is simulator in this is simulator. In War Thunder, it's not. It's their version of it, but it's still a game. War Thunder is a game. DCS is a simulator. As I've obviously will have said before, the startup process that you watched earlier on, if you get into a real spit like LF9, you'll be able to start it up because it's real. I didn't get either of those. I thought I had. Okay. I thought I've got at least one. Whoa, something happened there. I pulled back on the stick and nothing happened. I think they've got one of my cables. I think they've got my elevator cable. Let's try again. I'm throttling up, see what happens. It might just be that I've lost too much airspeed to be able to fly properly, but I'm not convinced about that yet. No, this is this is not controlling well. Perhaps they got me. Perhaps they've hit me, I don't know. But this is all over the place. It's been damaged. Even without gauging, it's been damaged. I pulled back the stick, nothing happens. I pull back a bit more and lots happens. I'm going to see if I can land this. I'm not hopeful. Because as I slow down, I will lose more control, I believe. Gear down. Oh dear, this is going to end in tears. Maybe the flaps will stabilise it. I might be able to get landed and get repaired. I'm doubtful. See, nothing was happening on the elevator until I pulled it right back, and then it really happened. But whether that was a pilot thing, whether the pilot was hit, I don't know. Okay. The elevator looks okay. So I don't know what that was about. I mean, yeah, my wheels are busted because I had a bad hard landing, but I got a feeling the pilot must have been hit. I'll see about getting repaired. Well, repaired and get the pilot healed as well, maybe. They might not repair me because I'm not on the runway, I'm not sure.
I heard that a single bullet in DCS can affect the aerodynamics and the electronic systems of the aircraft.
Request repair. Copy.
Sounds like they're going to repair me. Yeah, a single bullet in the right place, yeah, I suppose could do the right things to mess everything up. What happens in DCS, that's a nice thing, is that when your engine gets hit, it can go out of balance. So as you're looking forward, your view is doing this a little bit. It's sort of shaking around a little bit. Not much, but it's because the engine has been hit, and I'm guessing it's because the engine is therefore out of balance, so you're getting a vibration shaking the aircraft around that you wouldn't normally have. So that's a nice touch. Well, it says it's repairing me, so okay, that's good. 120 seconds to wait for repair. Okay, 2 minutes isn't long in the case of an aircraft that you managed to walk away with from. I didn't open, you notice I didn't open my canopy. Didn't really have much time for that, did I? I was really fighting to get that down, so I'm happy that I was in a situation where I could walk away. What usually happens is when I attack those units that were shooting back at me, when I attack them, the thing that, well, not usually, but can happen, and that has on numerous occasions, is that they hit the cable for the prop pitch control. So
I was going to tell you about the canopy, but you was caught up with the emergency landing.
Yeah, I would, even if you'd mentioned it, I wouldn't have had time to look up and open the canopy. Although, of course, that would be an occasion where you'd really want it open. If you stood the chance of getting your hand on it, you'd want it open, because you know that in that situation they might need to get you out quickly. But as it happened, I bent the gear, broke the prop, and I would say the engine as well. But apart from that, I could walk away. Apart from the fact that I haven't got a head. Well, apart from that. "20 seconds when they start to repair." So the aircraft will be lifted up in 10 seconds, then it'll take a few seconds, that's all, to simulate the repairs. I'll put my flaps up though. The flaps are coming up, that's good. The rear of the aircraft did take some hits, but I don't believe that those, I mean, it's not as if the elevators are shot to bits or anything. It was not behaving well. So maybe it was the control cables that were damaged, don't know. Okay. So I think I'll make a turn, start the engine, make a turn. Bearing in mind that everything on the engine at the moment is in the position it would be if I was flying. So I'll jump back in. First thing, I'll open the canopy and set the engine ready for takeoff. Really, I think that really is only just a case of priming it now. I haven't got a gear light, I don't know why. That I can turn the gear light on. Instead of trying to reach that switch with my mouse, I can just do this. But the gear light is still not coming on. This is possibly a throwback to a bug, because there was a while ago there was a bug where the gear light wasn't indicating properly. So it might be a throwback to that, I'm not sure. Let's just start the engine and see what happens. Brakes fully on. Prop pitch fully fine. Just in case for some reason the fuel pump failed. It didn't do it just then because I was talking, and using the push to talk button prevents it. Opened the pull back the lever for the fuel mixture control, prime the engine, check brake is fully on, it is, start the engine, crack the throttle, Okay, we're cooking. Let's get myself back onto the runway. I'm happy that I survived that, so it didn't end up in a pile of flames. It was. I'm glad that I managed to get it down, although it was a mess. It was a wreck, but I got it down, so I'm happy with that. Be interesting to see if the gear up light comes on when I raise the gear after I've taken off. That I've got a feeling that's a bug. Right, let's get onto the runway, break off. Of course the aircraft moves differently on rough grass from what it does on the runway. It bounces around.
Chevy 1-1.
Not good.
Clear to taxi to runway 26.
That's it. We're on the runway now and it will taxi better.
Chevy 1-1. Unable to clear for takeoff.
Why?
Chevy 1-1. Marduk, you are cleared for takeoff already. Climb 300.
I'm able to clear simply because I didn't ask.
39.
Right, brake fully on, check what I want. I need nose down.
Mazda, Chevy 1-1. Aboard takeoff. Chevy 1-1. Taxi to parking area.
Well, I don't know why that is. I don't know why they want me to abort takeoff, but I'm not gonna. I've got a feeling it might be the tanker is coming in or something. Right, so I've got to adjust for nose down for takeoff. Okay. Right, same procedure. Gear brake off. I'll see if I can keep my feet in view, but I have to concentrate.
Back to the sky, sir.
Yeah, back to the sky and back to those units to the east of the airfield. I don't know what they hit, but that really did mess up the flight characteristics. And you'll notice my gear light has not come on. And I didn't have to switch it on because having the throttle forward enough alone does that. I'll switch it if I can. No, I think that's the bug. It's sort of that issue that I had caused the bug that was there before to come back, perhaps. So if I was to get a new aircraft, that would work okay. But because I've had that issue and repaired, that bit hasn't been repaired. Oh, and I didn't get reloaded, so I've only got 7.7s. That was an oversight, wasn't it? Because I'm repaired, I'm thinking I'm okay. I'm going to have to go back and land. Hopefully a better landing than last time, but something's gone a bit amiss again, I think. Both wings are considerably peppered. And it is a bit all over the place, so I've got a feeling they've changed how affected, because it wouldn't normally be like this. It's become sluggish now. It's become very sluggish. I won't say it's as bad as it was before, but it's pretty bad. Unless, of course, this is once again a leftover from whatever prevented the gear light from working. I might just jump out. I'm going to land if I can, and jump out and get a new aircraft. I'll go around. Oh no, that's very sluggish. The stick is moving when I move it, but the control surfaces are not making the aircraft move in the same way. In the same way as when it's not damaged, I mean. Oh wow, this is definitely uncomfortable. Might end up just as bad or worse than the previous landing. Cockpit. Prop pitch. Fully forward for landing. Oh, this is awful. Not respect. Okay, I'm going to put the gear down. On this occasion I'm not going to try to show it. It's risky enough as it is. Gear down. Oh, it's showing it up, so that light did eventually come on. Will the down light come on? Yes, it has. Okay. Flaps in a minute. Well, that was painful and awful, but once again I could walk away. It's just wing damage. There's not really much, if any, at the back. I think they've changed the damage models. Engine's been hit by the looks of it, but I wasn't seeing it wobble about. So I'm actually going to get a new aircraft.
Nice balance, sir.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Well, it was not bad in as much as I survived and the aircraft didn't get damaged, I don't think, any more than it already was. Didn't get damaged due to the landing. Flaps up. I'm just going to select new role and get a new aircraft, because I'm still not convinced that it's was fully repaired properly, especially as the gear light wasn't working right. So I'll choose a different slot. And so that I don't have a long taxi, I'm going to choose my original slot. If I did that before, it just put me in the same place.
Can you play any aircraft in this mission? Because I see a large choosing list.
A large choosing list. I haven't got that many. No, I've only got this, the I-16, the TF-51, which is like the training P-51, which is not armed, and so like an Su-25 or something, which I don't fly. It's not really clickable cockpit, so I don't fly that, and it's a jet anyway, so I don't do it. But there's the I-51. That's a fascinating little aircraft if you'd like to see it. It's a very mechanical aircraft, let's say. There's pulleys and levers, cables.
What is good in the TF-51?
What is good in the TF-51? Well, the first good thing is it's free. When you come in, you get the Su-25, or I can't remember what it is. I don't know. I don't take any notice of those aircraft. But you get that, the jet, and you get the TF-51, the training fighter 51, which is a P-51, which is not armed. So that's a good thing. It's free. If you get DCS, you'll immediately have the T-51 if you want to fly it. The other thing about the TF-51 or the P-51 is it has a wide wheelbase, so it's easier to come in without rolling it all over the place, and it has toe brakes. So on my rudder pedals I can tilt my ankle forward, put my toe forward, because normally they slide backwards and forwards, right? So as you're seeing there, on the TF-51 I can tilt my foot forward and it'll operate or the P-51, it'll operate the toe brakes. So right toe brake puts braking on right wheel. So much easier to taxi, much easier. But less fun maybe, I don't know. So if you want, I mean, I can take this one up again, or if you want to see the I-16, I'll swap to that. It's up to you. You can call that one Spit or I-16. they've changed the sounds. With the braking, at one point you only got that, but now you're getting a sort of a rural sort of sound in the background as well. So that's a change
I think
they've made.
Spit is better.
Oh, think is lovely. Yeah, Spit is lovely. The i16 is quaint, if you like, different, and I say because it's like wheels and pulleys and stuff. It's very mechanical, and if to get it in the right order, once again, if you don't do it right, what will happen is you'll end up putting a strain on the cables, and you'll break the cables, so your gear won't work properly, won't go up or down properly, and you can't be going too fast. If you're going too fast, you won't be able to get your gear up or down properly. You've got to do all that at low speed before you throttle up. Before I go to Spit, even without starting necessarily, no, I'll do the start. I won't necessarily take off. I'll get the i16 just so you can see, because the startup is quite nice. There's something nice about that. So let me just go and get it. Hold on.
So let's stay with the Spitfire.
We will. I'll come back to the Spit, but bear with me for a minute. Right, I'm just going to get in the i16 and start it up. I won't taxi and take off and do all that stuff, but just so you can see it, and then I'll come back to the Spit.
As you like, sir.
So look, there we are. I'll jump out. It's a chunky little aircraft. As I say, very mechanical. If I jump back in, you're seeing all these levers and pulleys and cables to get the gear up, and it's quite mechanical. It's fascinating in that sense. So I'll see if I can start it, because there's a wind up to this start, a bit like they would have had for the 109, say, where you have to wind up a flywheel and then you engage the flywheel on the engine to start it, and it's the same with this. So I'll just get it started and you'll see what I mean, and then I'll jump out.
It's more mechanical, you are right.
Yeah, definitely. And something else that's fascinating, if I zoom in, that's the clock, and although unless you can read Russian you won't know, but if you look at that, it's the clock heat. Because it's an open cockpit, the clock, I guess, might freeze up, so it has a heater to prevent that. I think that's quite good. That one there is opening the vents on the front. If I jump out, so now you'll see the vents in front of the cylinders are open. If I jump back in again, pull that lever back, and now they're closed. But apparently to start
Especially
it,
the gears of the i16 are so hard to pull up.
yeah, it's a mechanical wind. There's the handle. You've got to wind it up, but you've got to get the order right. Otherwise, you'll just snap these cables, and then they'll be stuck midway between up and down. Right. So, let me just get my mind back into this. Otherwise, I'll do it wrong. So, I need to prime it, and then I need to move this switch from there for a couple of seconds, then there for a couple of seconds, then back to its original position. I think it's getting the pressures for the fuel. I'm not sure. There's a few people who are not sure about what that does, but first of all I'll prime it. and then do this switch trick. So now this one, I will get that going. I'll pull that out, which will get the flywheel spinning. Then I'll let it drop back in, and I'll push it right in to engage it with the engine, and it should start, if I haven't forgotten anything. Here we go. No, missed it. It's difficult. You have to get this timing right. Let me just prime it again. Although I don't think I need to actually, because over on the left here there's a pressure, and as long as you've got greater than 1 you should be okay to start it. So let's just give it another try, see if it'll start. No. Oh, I didn't do that. Okay, hold on. Let's just do it again. Right, try it again. If it doesn't work this time, I'll just jump out.
We have to be patient with early WW2 aircraft.
Yeah. There we go. I've got my feet on the brake pedals because it will roll forward otherwise, even on tick over pretty much. So there you are. It is a fascinating little plane.
It sounds so good.
It does sound good, yeah. So it's a fascinating little plane. As we've said, it's very mechanical. It's got that clunky ICE engine, rotary. It is good fun. It's a good fun plane, I've got to say that. And you know me with Spitz, but this is a good fun plane, and you have to get it right. To get the gear up, you have to throw that lever there on the right, and then this lever, which is your gear up down lever, put it to the up position and then wind it. But first you have to unlock the gear, and once again, if you don't unlock it, chances are if it's not unlocked, you'll be winding and you break cables. So you have to get it right. So I guess the order will be unlock, throw that one, and then wind. That's, yeah, that one, then wind it up. Once it's up, which you have to do before you're going too fast, relock it in position. So you see what I mean. It's a nice little aeroplane, but I won't take off. And it carries rockets, by the way. Can't do on the Spit. I can carry bombs, but I can't carry rockets. So I'll jump out of this. I'm not going to worry about shutting it down, although I could do. Let's shut it down using that's the mixture control. There you are. Actually, it's going to be comfort break time now, and I think it'll be time to eat soon. So I'm going to leave this as is for a moment, but I'm going to put my Be Right Back thing on the screen So I'll back soon. I'll put that on the screen because I don't know when I'm going to get back to it now.
Take your time, sir.
Yeah, we'll say it might be a dinner thing as well, so bear with me. Okay folks, now I'm back, and as you see it's not moving with my head because I got it locked. But what I'm going to do now, because I don't know when, I don't want you sitting there just doing, you know, with nothing to look at. So what I'll do is I'll close the stream, and if you are subbed to me in any way, you should get a notification once I go back on. So I'll close the stream for now, and I'll come back when I can come back properly. Okay, thanks for watching. Catch you again later, hopefully, at TTFN.